podcast, Holistic Transformation. For the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about the five elements, known mostly in traditional Chinese medicine, TCM. So if you missed the first two, you might want to go back. 2 weeks ago, the 12th of September, was the fire and air elements and the introduction to what the elements are. Then last week was the earth and water element. And then this week is Aether. So if you want to understand the other elements, you can go back and listen to those podcasts. You may want to do that before you listen to this one. It's up to you, whatever you feel works best for you. I'm going to do a share screen so that you can see my slides. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is Aether. When I wrote my book, Meditation Demystified, I spelled it ether without the A because I'm in the United States, and whenever I looked it up, that's how it was spelled. Since then, I've studied with scientists who've been talking about it, and they pronounce it Aether and spell it with an A. So I like to follow whatever science says. Now, when I took the history of science, which was like a 5-unit course at the University of Hawaii years ago, they told me that Aether used to be part of science and they removed it because it doesn't exist. So in the West, we were taught there were only 4 elements. And when you talk to people in the West, they all say there's 4 elements. When I studied Chinese medicine, they said, no, there's 5 elements. So I republished my book in 2019 and I added the Aether element. And that was 20 years after I had published it the first time. And in 20 years, I had learned a lot. So it was a whole new ball game. And we're going to talk about what is the Aether element? What does that mean? And some of you may have never even heard of it. And those of you who have may have heard of it in the scientific context. Most people probably haven't heard of it unless you did Chinese medicine and you realized Aether is wood. So starting tomorrow is our Holistic Transformation Summit. And I'm giving you the last 3 weeks part of the Om for Success workshop. And that's because if you buy a $97 ticket to the summit, I'm gifting you this class, which is October 8th, the week after the summit, or the Saturday. I guess it's a Saturday a week after the summit. And that, of course, leads into my Master Intuitive Healer program, where I actually teach you how to be a healer in your family based on the 5 elements, how to diagnose using the 5 elements, so that you can understand how to be and stay healthy without using any medications. Assuming it's not a medical emergency. Obviously, medical emergencies are serious issues. You need Western medicine, but there's much you can do before you ever go to emergency medicine or Western medicine, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to go over these different links. They're posted down below if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll have to go to the YouTube channel to get the links, or you can go to Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy.com, and the links are there for the Facebook group page, my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. More active on Twitter than Facebook. I don't even have Facebook on my phone. I have an app, Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy. It says .com. If you go to .com, there's a link on the top of the page where you can download the app depending on what kind of device you're on. And there's a link to my book, Meditation Demystified, based on the 5 elements. And it goes through the Aether element in that book, the new one that's available on Amazon.com. So what's the archetype of Aether? So we went through all the other archetypes. For Aether, which is wood in Chinese medicine, TCM, And in Ayurveda, it's called spirit or space. So in science, it's space. In Ayurveda, it's spirit. So this is the adventurer, the pioneer, the founder, the forerunner, and the innovator. And again, I want to say that everyone has all 5 elements, but you have a spiritual aspect, a mental aspect, an emotional aspect, a physical aspect, and knowing which element is dominant in each of those aspects can help you understand how to heal that part of yourself. So that's one of the reasons I like to teach this, because you can heal on many, many different levels. So the Aether Element meditation, it is sometimes referred to as space or spirit. Physicists discovered that space is not empty. And for over 5 years now, scientists have said, guess what? Aether exists. And they have actually known, some of the scientists have actually known for a long time. They just didn't want us to know. But now it's out. If you listen to people like Nissim Harriman, one of my favorite physicists, he's all over YouTube. Sometimes you'll hear Bruce Lipton interviewing him. He's awesome. And so if you go to YouTube and look up Aether, you can find um, people who will explain it to you in layman's terms. So all empty space is actually Aether. There is no empty space. So people that tell you outer space is empty, it's not empty. Metaphysically, Aether is considered the monad of the universe. It's everywhere. That's why God is omniscient and omnipotent. The color is black and white. It's like yin and yang. Okay, I hope my dog barking isn't disturbing you. Um, so there's a little yin yang symbol over here where there's a black dot in the white area and a white dot in the black area. And this is kind of like an eclipse. If you study the yin yang symbol, it was created by someone putting a stick in the ground and looking at the shadow. And it's about the light creates the dark and the dark creates the light. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, be the light, just be the light. Well, guess what? You'll have to take my advanced class to find out how you are both. Both sides. You are the light and the dark, believe it or not. So the color is black and white for the yin yang symbol, like the yin yang symbol, although some people change the colors to, blue and yellow or whatever. But the original symbol was black and white. So this is just a quick overview. I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but the yin and yang together, the black and the white, create balance. Aether is the wood element, which is the liver gallbladder. And all of the organs of the body have chi. A lot of people say, oh, chi is this. Well, there's many kinds of chi. Every organ has its own kind of chi. And it goes in a specific direction. For example, stomach chi goes down. When stomach chi doesn't go down, it comes up. I don't need to explain that to you. I'm sure you've all been there. Spleen chi up bears. So while the stomach goes down, the spleen comes up. So when people have tipped bladders or things falling down in their body, that's spleen chi deficiency. So spleen chi, we say it up bears. So all of the organs, I'm not going to go through all of them. It's not a TCM class. They all have their direction, except the liver. The liver, which is considered the general in the body, it's in charge of everything. The energy goes everywhere. So you have glands. You have these hormones created by your endocrine glands. And you think, oh, those glands do this or that. Maybe you look something up on the internet unless you've been to medical school. Um, all of those hormones go to the liver, which processes them. For example, everyone's heard of the thyroid, and you've got T3. It goes to the liver, which turns it into T4. Aha. So your liver is really important. It processes everything. Your food, after it goes through your digestive system, goes to the liver. And the liver removes any toxins before it sends it to the heart. So the heart gets nourished first, just like the heart sends the first set of blood that comes through, it sends to the lungs, it brings it back. So the heart gets food and air first, and then it sends it to the body. So that's a little anatomy lesson for those of you who didn't already know that. But the liver energy goes everywhere. And in human design, this is your non-energy types. Um, they readily take in and reflect the energy from others. So this would be like a projector is an aether. Um, Sometimes the reflector can be an aether, but normally the reflector is actually a water sign because it mirrors everything the way water creates a mirror, whereas the projector takes in the energy and sends it out again. Okay, so there are so many ways to meditate. Use what works best for you. For this particular element, we recommend the Rainbow Body Style Meditation, which is a type of meditation for reaching enlightenment. It's a combination of looking at a mandala and chanting. Your eyes are open. So if you fall asleep while meditating, this is great. If you don't like to do nothing while you meditate, this includes chanting. So you're going to be focused on chanting as well. So this is going to engage all of your senses, your voice, everything. You will not fall asleep. And eventually you will enter a deep state. Before you know it, you're going to be there meditating. You're no longer chanting, and you're just in a very, very deep state of meditation with your eyes are closed, but you're meditating. You just have to get there first by looking at a mandala. I explain the different types of mandala in class. We don't have time here to go through all of that. So you look at a mandala, or it could be a geometric form or whatever you're using. You chant, and this can be an ancient chant or a new chant, or I teach all kinds of different chants in the class. So you do some chanting, and your eyes are open, and you're chanting. And eventually, through the use of your energy, your body goes to sleep, but your mind is still alert and in a deep meditative state. That's how you get into Delta while meditating and you're not passed out. You're actually awake. So have the intention to heal yourself, of course, but you can also have the intention to heal the earth and everything on her and let go of all judgments. It's a very, very enlightening meditation. Of course, there's more to it. We'll go into that in the class. So there's a Buddhist meditation where you visualize the Buddha in front of you. Of course, if you're not you don't have to be a Buddhist to do this, okay? If you don't want to use Buddha, use whoever you believe in or a master. But what you're doing is you breathe in the good air and you exhale the negative energy, and you ask that whoever it is you've asked to help you transmute that energy into positive energy. Because the Buddhas do this, I just say use the Buddha. If you have a problem with that because you're not Buddhist, you don't have to be Buddhist to do this. But if you feel it goes against your religious belief or whatever, then pick whatever you believe in, whoever it is that you pray to. Have them in front of you and send them the energy with the intention they transmuted. And then you bring in that whole wonderful, beautiful energy and clear out any negative energy within. Okay. Um, okay. I should have deleted those slides. Anyway, tomorrow is the summit, so come back to this channel on the 27th through the 29th, starting at 11 a.m. If you go to holistictransformationsummit.com, you can register for free and you can watch it free here. If you register, you will get a free gift from each of the speakers, and that's free. Most of them are something you just download, and it's got hints and tricks and, 5 things to know about. My gift is actually an ebook, Om for Success, which goes into more detail about how you can heal yourself with the different uh, element styles. And of course, if you decide to buy a ticket, the $97 ticket, you will have access to 11 bonus gifts from 11 of the speakers, each one worth over $200. Well, a minimum of $200. I think a couple are at 200, but the rest are all over $200 each. Mine is my Own for Success class, which I've been going through the overview intro of in the past 3 YouTube Holistic Transformation YouTube podcast, and it's free if you buy the $97 ticket, and it will be October the 8th. It'll be all day. And if need be, we will go over onto Sunday as well. I spend whatever time people in the class need so that they get everything they need, and you will understand what your physical element is. I will help each person know what their physical element is. And you might say, well, who cares? Why do I want to know that? Because if you know your physical element, you will know where you're going to break first. So people come in, I'm an acupuncturist. They come in and they have a pain. It might be a back pain. Usually it's pain when people come in. They don't realize that it's a whole medicine. And what caused it? Well, there's an underlying cause, and the base underlying cause is, unless it was an accident or something unusual, your weak point is your physical element. So when you know what that is, you know how to take care of it. And because if you come in and I only treat your symptoms, that's what Western medicine does, you will never heal. You have low back pain, you keeps coming back. You keep getting low back pain over and over again. You go to a chiropractor, you go to acupuncture. It just comes back because you didn't heal the underlying cause. You have to heal the underlying cause. So sometimes people come in and it's very complex. I got 10 things wrong. Well, first, one element got out. Remember I said there's a cycle? There's a generating cycle and then there's a controlling cycle. And it either goes around the generating cycle or the controlling cycle, whichever is your next weakest element, and that's the next thing to break. And I told you what organs are associated with each element. So let's say you're an earth person and it's spleen, stomach. The first thing that's going to break is something to do with your spleen or your stomach. Well, physically, I'm an earth element. And at 21, the first thing to break in me was I got a stomach ulcer. Well, actually, it was a duodenal ulcer, but most people don't know where the duodenum is. So just think of it as an ulcer. So I had to learn how to take care of my digestive system. So if you're an earth person, digestion is crucial, but it could also be spleen related. So you might have organs that fall down, or you have prolapses or whatever. So understanding these elements can help you stay physically healthy. And if you're physically healthy, then knowing your next level element will help you stay emotionally healthy and mentally healthy and advance spiritually. My goal is to help people be so healthy they're ready to advance spiritually, because we're at a time where we can't. Let me do a stop share so you're not staring at that. So where we can ascend, and a lot of people talk about it, and some people know what they're talking about, and some people are really confused because in the 90s there was a lot of new age crap that came out, and well, anyway, enough said about that. I won't go down a negative rabbit hole. But once you are physically healthy, emotionally healthy, mentally healthy, now you can grow spiritually. And you want to grow holistically. That's why this is the Holistic Transformation Summit. All aspects of yourself need to be healthy and in balance and grounded. And when you are, life is much easier. I'm not saying it's simple. I'm not saying there won't be hardships, but I'm saying you will be able to move through them much easier, and with an understanding of why it's happening and what you need to do to be resilient and move through it. So that's why I like to teach this, to help you on that path. So I hope you can join us starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's free. If you just come here, you can watch it. You don't even have to register if you don't want your name out there. I promise I don't spam people with 15 emails a day like some people do when they market. I don't do that. You will be on my email list, but you can unsubscribe if you register. And if you register, you will get the free gifts from all the speakers. So I encourage you to register. And if you happen to like the free gift from one of the speakers, then you can use their gift to contact them. Um, and then, of course, if you want the free gift, and there's one person's offering an astrology reading, there's one person offering, what do you call it, an Akashic record reading. Several people are offering free coaching, an hour of free coaching. Imagine that, from these experienced, awesome coaches. A couple of us are giving away classes. Jaja, my friend in Greece, is giving away a class. She said it's worth $997, and it includes her book in PDF format. Wow. That's really an incredible gift. So remember to join us, and we look forward to seeing you, and be the light you want to see in the world. And thank you for joining us.